What's up, everybody? It is Mammoth Ego coming at you with my next build that I have put together for Thor. Uh, Damage buffs are overrated, guys, and I'm going to show you why. So, without further ado, this is the Thor Just Vibin' set. This is an all vibranium self-charging battery crazy build. I hope you guys enjoy this. Same skills and everything that we had before. Oh, and of course, if you do find this content helpful, please remember to like, share, comment, smash that subscribe button. And also remember to give me a follow on twitch.tv/mammothego as well, where I am streaming live 6 nights a week. And you can check me out, say hi, drop in for a raid, or even join us on Discord. Now, this is kind of an update to the previous build that I did that was highlighting some kind of the perks and drawbacks of the damage buff on some of the pieces. Now, I have since been able to update things and get a full raid set going here. We are rocking full vibranium set on this, and as you can see, these are my current stats. So we have on our puncher piece, lethal conduit, which again, not a big deal, but glad that it's there. This one has vibranium on light combo finishers and signature attacks, which is super important for applying vibranium in your blender move if you're a melee focused character. This has the Odin Force Breaker, though, which is super important. 15% increased damage while Odin Force is active. So that's not overcharge, that's Odin Force. So as long as you're holding your right trigger, which is all the bloody time, you're getting a 15% damage buff. Next is my new shiny. We have a 15% increased damage from Warrior's Fury. We have range power attacks and attacks performed on pin enemies deal vibranium damage, and 36.3%. That's the one. 36.3% chance that ranged critical attacks will activate a vibranium payload on the target. This thing literally bleeds vibranium everywhere. It's just and just the payloads. It's so crazy. It's such a good piece. There's my defense piece here. As you can see, I have no defensive stats on it. The only thing I wanted on this thing is the one that I got, which is the inflict 25% additional damage to enemies afflicted by an active vibranium status. And then, of course, we have Might, Valor, and Precision on this piece as well. The only part that matters on that is that middle perk. The other two are that's just trash. Oh, yeah, the stats on that were beautiful as well. Precision, Valor, Resilience. I now have 2 Resilience pieces, so I'm not just going into battle with an Armored Cod piece. Gauntlet. Whatever. I also have armor on my hammer? Sure. Defensive piece, Might, Valor, Precision, and then on our mainstay only defensive piece, we actually have Precision, Valor, Resolve with a lethal Jarvis barrier. That is my current setup for this right now. Now, the reason why I call this a self-charging battery is because all the damage you output from all your attacks here come out as vibranium damage, and all your Odin Force attacks are shock damage or lightning damage. Now, vibranium is a positive element. Shock is a negative element. And if you don't know about positive and negative elements, I will do my best to probably put something together about elements and how they interact in another video. But basically, a positive element plus a negative element equals a lot of damage. So anytime you can engineer that for yourself, absolutely do that. If you're working in a team setting and can coordinate the statuses that you're doing so that everybody's doing, one person's doing positive, one person's doing negative, and so on, then you can really maximize your party's output of damage. So please coordinate with your parties for your gear. This stuff is super, super important. Now, even though my Thor is a damage dealer, I still run the Tactigon on here because he throws around so much status and there's always status afflicted enemies. I'd rather have that constant damage boost than the sometimes damage buff from the Nornstone. I often forget to proc it, and I don't have a regular damage buff on here, so I don't get any of the other added benefits, so there's no point in me running it. This is the same triple 64 Valor piece that I've been running all along. And our mainstay, of course, Reactive Cosmic Surge, Precision Might Valor. Pretty much God roll that you're going to get on that in terms of stats. So that is the overall build. The skills, I'm not going to jump right into again. I'm going to keep this video a little shorter. They're exactly the same in my other build. I will post the link. Maybe it's up there right now, actually, to the video of the previous build here, which does highlight some of the benefits of the damage buff on these types of builds. But we're going to jump in. I'm going to give you a nice example of how this runs in the harm room. Now, today we're going to run a custom harm room to highlight some of the stuff. With Thor, because he does do such an insane amount of damage, I usually like to do 2 tests. I'll do a test with a room full of enemies, like high-density enemies, just to see how he can handle clearing like lots of ads. And then I'll run another test, usually with a bunch of dread bots, big or exos or what have you, to see how he stacks up against the bigger guys as well. But I'll usually do those at like much lower density. So we'll start this one here up on Brutal, a group size of 8 Synthoids. We'll start this up. Guys all grouped together here. Okay, 1, 2, see the payloads? Now every time you see that yellow damage, that's the battery damage, right? It's just dying. So that's the battery damage. Now, Thor does a little bit better with proccing everything against dudes who have a bit more hit points than these guys. Like, I'm pretty sure I probably could have wiped him out with just one of these. Oh, maybe not. These guys are pretty tough. Just joking. Alright, so that's me versus a room. Oh, look at that. You get the unspammable Odin Force. There we go. Sometimes your Odin Force will just start proccing by itself. I think it's a skill. I say it's a skill. It's a feature. So that's the single room damage. Now, obviously, numbers aren't as high as with the damage buff, but as you can see, like, things are still being erased. Like, absolutely erased. So, some point that I keep coming back to with this stuff is that the enemies don't have millions of hit points. So being able to do millions of damage, while it's a cool flex, it's not necessary and limits other aspects of the game. Oh, wow, these guys get... There we go. Always watch out for these guys and their sniping guns. So there we go. Now they're both covered in vibranium. Let me give them a little kissy from the God Blast. So all that green damage is battery damage. This is what I was talking about. This is what's super important about the interaction of your of your statuses, plural. The more of the purple stuff you can spray around, the more damage your lightning is going to do, and all the rest of your damage is really stacking on that lightning. So you want to get your purple around as much as possible, and then start spamming your Odin Force attacks. After that, it's all pretty much downhill. Now, this build, I will admit, does work quite a bit better when you have some teammates with you as well that are also capable of spreading around vibranium. Though the build works exactly as it's intended to right now, it does kind of need a little bit of intensity or something, I think, to set off the vibranium just a little bit faster so that you can see those big battery numbers happening more of the time. But other than that, I really don't believe that there's much room for improvement with that type of a build. This still whacks for millions of damage against Claw. without a damage buff. This still whacks for millions of damage against the Super Adaptoid when I'm triggering the Bifrost. So I'm not really concerned about the loss of the damage buff, guys, and I don't think you should be either. If you are concerned in any way, shape, or form about your current build setup, if you're worried that maybe after they trash it, if they trash it, because we don't even know what's going to happen, but if you're worried that that's a possibility, please, please join me over at twitch.tv/mammothego. Jump into the chat and let me know. I'll be more than happy to help you out. We can join up in a party. We can discuss your personal gear setups, your builds, and we can find out what's working and what's not to make sure that you're hitting the potential for your characters. Thank you again for joining me. If you found this at all helpful, just Hulk smash that like button for me. If you're not already subscribed, please subscribe. And like I said, check me out 6 nights a week at twitch.tv/mammothego. I'm always streaming. We're always laughing and having a great time. Jump on the chat and say hi. Thanks again. Guys, take care of yourselves. And as always, take care of each other. Have a great night.